Greetings, fellow time travelers. Welcome back to Ancient Mystery, where we uncover the hidden mysteries of lost civilizations and dive deep into the secrets that shaped our world. I'm your archaeological guide, ready to take you on another mind-bending journey through the corridors of time. Today's discovery will blow your mind. In a small French town, archaeologists have unearthed something that challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient Europe. A tomb so magnificent, filled with treasures so rare, that it's being called one of the most spectacular finds of the century. Before we unveil these incredible secrets, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss the ancient mysteries we're about to reveal. Phase 1. Building the historical mystery. The discovery at Lavau. Picture this scene with me. In the quiet village of Lavau, in the Champagne region of France, archaeologists are carefully brushing away centuries of earth. Suddenly, their tools hit something extraordinary. Bronze, gleaming beneath the soil after more than 2,000 years. But here's what will absolutely amaze you. The objects surrounding this mysterious figure had travelled hundreds, maybe thousands of kilometres from their origins. The puzzling questions are, who was this person buried with such incredible wealth? How did Greek and Etruscan treasures end up in the heart of ancient France? And what does this tell us about a civilization that history almost forgot? The discovery at Lavau. Picture this scene with me. In the quiet village of Lavau, in the Champagne region of France, archaeologists are carefully brushing away centuries of earth. Suddenly, their tools hit something extraordinary. Bronze gleaming beneath the soil after more than 2,000 years. But here's what will absolutely amaze you. The objects surrounding this mysterious figure had travelled hundreds, maybe thousands of kilometres from their origins. The puzzling questions are, who was this person buried with such incredible wealth? How did Greek and Etruscan treasures end up in the heart of ancient France? And what does this tell us about a civilization that history almost forgot? Understanding the Hallstatt Celts. What we're looking at here is a princely tomb from the Hallstatt Celtic era, dating back to the 6th and 5th centuries before Christ. Now, pay attention to this incredible detail. Throughout Central Europe, these magnificent burials reveal a society of immense wealth and sophisticated international connections. Phase 2. Time travel to ancient Europe. Now, let's journey back in time together. Imagine standing in ancient Europe over 2,500 years ago. The Celts, these mysterious people who left no written records of their own, were building a civilization that would connect the entire continent through trade, culture, and breathtaking artistry. But here's the fascinating mystery. We don't even know what they called themselves. The very name Celts comes from Greek writings. The first person to write about them was Herodotus, the Greek historian who became known as the father of history itself. Listen to what Herodotus wrote. This is the very first mention of the Celts in human literature. The river Istros begins in the land of the Celts, near the city of Pyrenae, and flows through Europe down the middle. The Celts are beyond the Pillars of Hercules and beside the Cynesians, the last people in Europe on the side of the sunset. Now, here's where it gets incredibly exciting, the river Istros that Herodotus mentioned. That's the Danube River. And if we follow the Danube upstream to where he placed the Celts, we arrive at southwestern Germany, right at the archaeological site of Heuneburg. Fellow treasure hunters, what archaeologists discovered at Heuneburg will absolutely blow your mind. This wasn't just a settlement. This was a major power centre of the ancient world. During the Celtic period, this plateau was densely populated, surrounded by majestic tombs and bustling with workshops for textiles and metalwork. From here below, we can see the Danube River, flowing just as it did when Herodotus described it 25 centuries ago. Everything points to Heuneburg being Pyrenees, the very city mentioned in ancient texts. But here's what's truly mind-blowing. At its peak, Heuneburg's population reached 5,000 people. That's an exceptional concentration for that time and region. This was a major urban centre controlling trade routes that connected the entire European continent. Phase 4. The treasures of Lavau. Extracting the bronze cauldron. Back in Lavau, the excavations continue to reveal astounding treasures. Bastien Dubuis leads the dig, assisted by Emily Millet, a specialist in metal objects whose mission is to extract a massive bronze cauldron. Listen to what Emily describes. Right now, I'm cleaning the fourth handle of the cauldron. You can see the metal part of the handle with the head of Archaeological, the Greek river god, with his horns, moustache and beard. Each of these pieces is decorated with animal faces, lions, leopards and panthers. The few pieces already uncovered testify to the extraordinary nature of this discovery. The figures of the god Archaeological indicate the cauldron's distant origins. It was probably made in Etruria or Magna Graecia, in what is now Italy, the Greek wine pitcher. But wait! Inside the cauldron, something else emerges bit by bit. It's truly astonishing. An oinocho. That's a typical Greek pitcher from the Athens region, often decorated with famous Greek myths. And here's what makes it absolutely incredible. It's enhanced with gold decorations. For archaeologists, the presence of this large cauldron among the artifacts confirms they're looking at one of the most luxurious princely tombs ever discovered from the Hallstatt Celtic period. Phase 5. The Celtic Empire revealed. The vast Hallstatt territories. Now, let me show you something that will reshape your understanding of ancient Europe. The Hallstatt territories extended south to the Alps, west to part of modern France, reaching the Seine and Loire rivers, east all the way to the Danube River. This was a vast civilization spanning much of Central Europe. The Lavau tomb represents what's commonly called the princely phenomenon. We've seen this before, you know. The Heuneburg tomb in Germany, for example, featured imported pottery from Greece and Italy, as well as gold ornaments, mostly crafted by the Celts themselves, mind you. Then, of course, came the spectacular Vix tomb, with its enormous Greek crater and a gold necklace. An absolutely stunning piece of jewellery, I must say. Phase 6. A century of discovery. The archaeological journey, eh? Let's travel back in time a bit to understand how these amazing discoveries began. The spectacular revelations of these luxurious deposits really started in the 19th century. In 1846, in the Burgundy region, scholars discovered a beautiful cauldron from Anatolia. A few decades later, over in Germany near Heuneburg, funerary deposits were discovered in the Giesübel-Talhau tomb. They clearly testified to a highly prosperous culture. German scholars then proposed the idea of a princely civilization. In 1953, in the French Burgundy region, the Vix tomb was discovered. Among other things, it contained a massive vase, 1.65 meters tall and 1.2 meters wide. It's actually the largest known Greek vase in existence. Over nearly 2 centuries of archaeological research, the princely phenomenon has appeared in hundreds of tombs. However, it's the Vix tomb, the Heuneburg tomb, and now the Lavau tomb that are considered the most spectacular. Phase 7. The Lady of Vix. Now, the Lavau site sits on the banks of the Seine River, about 70 kilometers downstream from the village of Vix. It's in this very village that the tomb of the Lady of Vix was discovered. Archaeologist Bruno Schaum has been researching this plateau for more than 20 years. 25 centuries ago, the population covered Mont Lassois Hill, and the Lady of Vix was buried in the valley below. Here's what makes this discovery extraordinary. The Lady of Vix was buried under a significant mound, a hill raised above her tomb to mark her place in the landscape. She was surrounded by objects of immense value, including the famous Vix crater. She was laid upon a chariot covered with jewellery and wore a gold necklace weighing nearly 0.5 kilogram. But here's the fascinating question that puzzled archaeologists. Why are princely tombs often discovered near rivers? It seems these rivers played a crucial role in the prosperity of Celtic civilization. The same river flowing at the foot of Mont Lassois has its source upstream and flows toward the English Channel. That's about 700 kilometers downstream. This privileged position can easily be linked to the wealth of the Celts at Vix. Phase 8. The strategic crossroads. Heuneburg's perfect position. Like the Vix site, Heuneburg in Germany sits atop a plateau overlooking the Danube River. What role did the river play in the development of this Celtic city? Listen to this incredible geographic position. Here at the foot of Heuneburg, the Danube is about 80 kilometers long at this point. It springs from the west in the Black Forest and continues for 2,500 kilometers toward the southeast to join the Black Sea, where there were Greek colonies at that time. Now, pay attention to this amazing fact. Heuneburg sits at a crucial crossroads between different rivers traversing Europe. To the east, the Danube was used to transport goods from Western Europe to the Black Sea. To the west, the Rhine opens the route to the North Sea, sending goods to the English Channel and British Isles. To the north, rivers provide access to the Baltic Sea region. To the south, the Alps lie beyond. And finally, Italy on the other side. To the southwest, the Rhone leads to the Mediterranean Sea. For anyone seeking a place to control trade along the Danube, from north to south and east to west, Heuneburg is the perfect location. Phase 9. The Ancient Trade Networks. Fellow ancient seekers, now we're diving into one of the most fascinating aspects of Celtic civilization, their incredible trade networks. Near the Vix site is a town called Châtillon-sur-Seine. There, the wealth of objects found in 1953 during excavations is kept in the Musée du Pays Châtillonnais. Félicie Fougère, archaeologist and curator of cultural heritage, directs the museum. Here's something that will absolutely amaze you. In the tomb, jewelry was found made from amber, fossilized plant resin, widely sought after in ancient times. This amber was found in bracelets worn by the Lady of Vix herself, as large beads on a necklace, probably around her neck. But here's what's truly mind-blowing. Amber is systematically found in the finest tombs of that period. It's a material that attracted the attention of the entire social elite contemporary with the Lady of Vix. What's remarkable about a tomb like the one at Vix is the presence of amber, a material that comes from the Baltic Sea, extremely far from the Burgundy region. This indicates that the material must have travelled across vast distances. We can also find fibulae, a type of pin or safety pin. And finally, there are also fragments of coral in the fibulae that decorated the torso of the Lady of Vix. Since coral comes from the Mediterranean region, we're looking at a trade network that crossed Europe from north to south. something truly massive. Phase 10. The Continental Trade System. This map represents princely residences. Archaeologists have found amber at all these sites. Even though amber comes from the Baltic Sea coast all the way in northern Europe, rivers leading to Central Europe begin their journey on these coasts. From Central Europe and along the Danube River, amber could spread throughout Europe and throughout the Mediterranean world via the Black Sea. Amber enabled the development of long-distance trade, both from north to south and west to east, between different power centres of that time. Although the large crater remains the centrepiece of the Vix tomb, other pottery vessels were found beside it. This oinocchio of Etruscan origin was used to collect drinks from the crater for serving. Now, here's something fascinating about ancient economics. With the basin both coming from Etruria, remarkably far from Mont Lassois, they're made of bronze, a material that required sophisticated metallurgical knowledge and extensive trade networks to produce. Conclusion: the Celtic legacy. Ancient mystery hunters, today we've journeyed through time to uncover the incredible story of the Celtic princes. We've discovered a civilization that connected all of Europe through sophisticated trade networks, burial practices that rivaled those of any ancient culture. Evidence of international commerce spanning from the Baltic Sea to the Mediterranean. Urban centres that controlled the flow of precious goods across the continent, and artistic achievements that combined influences from Greek, Etruscan and indigenous Celtic traditions. But many questions remain. What happened to this magnificent civilization? Why did they leave no written records? And what other treasures still lie buried beneath European soil, waiting to be discovered? What do you think about these incredible Celtic discoveries? Do you believe there are even greater treasures still waiting to be found? Share your theories in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to Ancient Mystery for more archaeological adventures, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our journey through time. In our next episode, we'll travel to the mysterious megaliths of ancient Britain, where standing stones hold